Things I do for movie criticism. Damn.
What? Is there something in my teeth?
Moana 2026 is directed by Thomas Kail with a screenplay by Jared Bush and Don Ledoux Miller. The film stars Dwayne Johnson, Rena, Owen, John Tui, Frankie Adams, Jermaine Clement, and Laga'aia. Leaving her island for the first time, young Moana embarks on an epic seafaring adventure to restore prosperity to her people. Oh, these dreaded live-action Disney remakes have been plaguing movie theaters for now decades. I like to think it's finally catching up to people. While I don't hate the Lilo and Stitch one that came out last year, I thought it was decent at best. Snow White was just plain terrible. Awful, hands down. It was just downright bad. It was laughable to think that Disney thought, yeah, this was good enough, because let me tell you, it really wasn't. Everything about this movie screams laziness and insults audience by being a rinse and repeat of the now 10-year-old film. I don't know how you managed to take a beloved movie that is, again, 10 years old, by the way, not too long ago, and just tarnish all that goodwill, all that heart and soul into that original movie, and just completely shamelessly make something that has nothing compared to what that original even had by any means. This movie is just flat out embarrassing in my eyes, and to me, it's just sad. It's honestly pathetic to see Disney think that this was good enough to put in theaters, because honestly, they should have aborted this the moment it was even thought of. Before addressing my huge problems, my huge negatives with this film, here is my only positive. The production is well made. From the costumes and props, they look beautiful. Hats off to pretty much the crew work. If for nothing else, I have to give respect to the people that did put in the effort that they did with this film. And to me, that's all I can ever be grateful for, is that at the very least, some department, some area within this film production, there was at least attempts trying their best to make the most out of it. Beyond that, however, nothing about this surpasses the original in any way, shape, or form. No doubt about it. Anybody tells me it does, this must be an April Fool's joke. Because here are now my negatives. The performances are lackluster. Although Catherine Laga'aia was enjoyable, and to me, I think she is easily the best performance out of this movie and the one that shines the most. Everyone else, but particularly Mr. Johnson, looks bored or just getting a paycheck for this. Easily. You can tell on everyone's face that they just look like they're going through the motions, and they are just willing to just go along with this because, hey, it's easy money, and it's just such disrespect. And really, the one I want to point out, Mr. Dwayne Johnson. Holy cow. How did you think that this was going to go down? I was giving you hope that you would, at the very least, try to go on and do something serious after doing the Smasher Machine last year. Yes, I get it. It didn't make enough money. But not every movie in October made a lot of money. That's no longer an excuse. But I was just hoping that you would go down the mature route. Nah, he said, I could use some more money, even though I'm practically a billionaire at this point. It stuns me to think that anybody that honestly thinks that Maui in this movie is like how he was in the original, no. He is half-assing this. He looks straight up like, this is all you're getting from me. I am not putting 100% of my effort into this. And it's on full display. And it's baffling to think that he honestly thought to put on that wig, put on a muscle suit with the tattoos and everything, and think, I can do this, because he didn't. And it's such a shame. Sink even lower with doing this kind of stuff. The direction is flat. Director Thomas Kail brings nothing new and makes the journey lack any personality. Honestly, it comes off feeling like slop. And I know, don't want to use that word, but man, that is how this feels. It seriously would might as well be made by Disney themselves, not by a director, but by just Disney. That is what I think the title for director should be: made by Disney. To even think that somebody made this is sad, because so many people would dream to make a movie of good quality, and there are a lot of people who can. But in this case, the scale, he not succeed in that area. The story is soulless. Same story with no heart at all. Also, no changes to it. Just reheated. That's the best thing I can say. This movie is straight up a microwave leftover that you put in there and you still think this would be good, but it's been sitting there for like weeks, even months maybe. It's sad to see a film that has the heart, emotion, depth the animated version did so well at be reduced to this, where it is the same story with nothing changed whatsoever, and any sort of attempt of recreating those moments from the animated version, they just do not hit the same way, and everything really does feel flat. Nothing stands out, it all just feels like same old shit. The writing is copy and pasted. Writers Bush and Miller just recycle the original script with nothing to show for it. It is so lazy. People, you might as well have taken the original script and just copied and pasted. It's almost like that meme of saying, hey, can I copy your homework? And his friend's like, yeah, just make sure it's not the same. And it turns out to be the same. And you're like, what the fuck? Because, wow, nothing different. Let's just take this, play it here, and let's call it a day. Because that is what this feels like. It really feels like it was spent a day, or even like a few seconds rather, to just take that original script and just plop it in here. That's all you need. The pacing runtime is below it. Scenes would speed run until slowing down for musical sequences. With a runtime of 1 hour and 55 minutes, it shouldn't be this long. Why is a movie like this, where the animated version worked so well within its limits of its pacing and runtime, and blowing this shit out to almost 2 hours? How? How is that possible? Because in my eyes, this shouldn't be. I am baffled to think that this was even worth that length, because it's an insult. A movie of this caliber just sink itself low and think it is some sort of pure epic spectacle, and it is not by any means. It is just laughable. The music is derivative. Returning composer Mark Mercina, along with Lin-Manuel Miranda and Apita Foy, pretty much reuses the same songs and score that doesn't feel fresh, going along with everyone who put in the least amount of work. The music here, sure, people could say, well, it's the Moana music. What did you expect? I expect very least an attempt of bringing in some new songs, some new creative lyrics that could go along with what Moana is known for. Nah, man, this shit is just straight up, again, copy and pasted. Nothing is different here. Even if, like, yes, the instrumental parts work and all that stuff, it's bullshit, because it's the exact same fucking thing. It really is. To think that this can work if we just do little effort here, it is crazy to me that people would accept that, because I don't. The visuals are inconsistent. While certain characters can look good, and I will admit, like, sure, Tamatoa and some of the little coconut creatures, they actually don't look bad at all. They actually look pretty well. The obvious green screens and environments look really bad. And to think $250 million went into this, how this all came out to being and looking, talk about embarrassment. Straight up, you can tell characters are just behind green screen. And for a film that said that it was filmed in some parts in Hawaii, man, I feel like a lot of the times it feels like it was really straight up made in Atlanta, because they even credit Atlanta for being a part of this. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me that most of this feels like this was really shot in a warehouse with that green screen, because a lot of the times that's what I'm getting here. And sure, everything's fantastical, but man, have a consistent pattern. Don't be all over the place in how characters look and how they come off, because it's gonna be noticeable. The editing is messy. Cuts would fly past stuff and feels off as it goes on. Just all over the place. And that's what this is. Everything in the way in which cuts would happen and how they transition into things, it just does not work. It really comes off as trying to get past everything just so that way they can just get to the big moments and the recreation parts. That is all this movie is there for. And with that, you have editing here that just feels like it could care less on how it gets there. The action is underwhelming. Any sequence of Moana running or Maui's fights lack excitement or fun, feeling cheap as it happens. And also very slow. How they go about like sequences where you see Moana fighting off against some of the coconut creatures or even Maui shape shifting and all that stuff, it feels so slow. It doesn't seem to feel like there's a heartbeat to it in those sequences to make you feel excited or thrilled. It comes off as just feeling pale in comparison to what this original movie had to offer. There's no point for this film's existence at all. Disney shamefully takes a beloved animated film to turn it into a lazy cash grab. Families deserve better because this is flat out insulting. At the end of the day, that is how I feel. This movie is just insulting and patronizing to families who pay out of pocket to have their kids and go see this and think, man, I got something new out of this, because you wouldn't. Honestly, this is the one time I would say to parents, or rather anybody who is interested in this movie, like, this is the one time. I don't like to interject my personal feelings, like, oh, at the end of the day, but I'm just gonna straight up say it to you guys. Please do not waste your money. This is not worth it. Okay, just watch this. Okay, it's so much better. It has actual heart to it. There's actual meaning. Nothing of what this movie has to offer has any meaning in the slightest. It is a damn fucking shame to see everyone think that this would fly by. And thankfully, box office is telling me, all right, at least people are actually kind of waking up to this, or actually taking notice and saying, you know what? No, not interested. Because to me, that is how it should be. This movie should be a goddamn ashamed of itself. I am giving Moana 2026 a 1 out of 10. This movie is just insulting, and again, it is shameful that Disney thinks that in order for a remake to be successful, you just copy and pasted things. And really, that is the thing to take away from this. Disney doesn't care. As long as you're gullible and they want you to have your kids see this, and for them to beg you to go to a theater, pay so much money just to watch some bullshit, because that's how this movie is. It is straight up bullshit. Convince your kids to stay home, or better yet, go see other movies like Toy Story 5. Do that, or hell, like, I know I didn't review it, but like Means and Monsters, go see that. Don't take them to this. This is just, it's a goddamn shame. So I will be soon doing a review for the Odyssey. So yes, look forward to that review and other reviews coming soon.